Hello everybody, on this tutorial I'm going to talk about calendar function in DAX. The calendar function is a very handy function that allows us to create date tables in DAX um, as, as it creates a continuous set of dates that is required for any date table or any kind of time intelligence functions to work. So it's a very simple function and want to go over it today. So the calendar takes a start date and an end date. So the example could be you can either start by hard coding the date, or you can derive it out of the tables by using min max or a combination of other functions. So let's quickly look at it. So if I go to modeling and go to new table, all right, so I'm calling it calendar and the calendar function. Calendar, the start date and end date. So the start date, let's start with hard coding it in the beginning. So I want dates from 2010, 1/1 to the end date. End date would be 2025, 12/31. Right, on the right hand side, you now see a calendar table. And if you look into the content of that table, you can see dates starting from 1/1, and it's a set of continuous date. You can just descending and see it has all the way into 12/31/2025. Right, so that's a basic example. In other instances, it will be helpful if we could make the date table dynamic. So in that case, we can utilize the min-max functions from that utilizes date columns from, and based on that, it could create a date table. So let's look into that. Go back to modeling, create new table. All right, and this time let's call it calendar dynamic. And it'll be the same function, calendar. And this time in the start date, we will provide min, and we'll ask DAX to get the min value from our sales table. So we can do min sales date and our maximum, or the end date, will be the maximum date from the forecast table. I'm using the forecast date. So that gives us our dynamic calendar based on our existing table data. So if we look into the data, so we can see it started from 1/1/2020, and if I short it descending, it ended on 1/1/2024. So let's look at my sales table. Sales table started with 1/1/2020, so that was our starting point of the date table in calendar dynamic. And if you look into the forecast table, the maximum value of the forecast date was 1/1/2024. So that's how this table was created. All right. So we might also have instances where we want the full dates for the year. So let's say for 2024, the max date was, the end date was 1/1/2024, and it only had dates up to 1/1/2024. I would ideally like this to go to the end of the year. So to make that happen, what we can do is we can extract the year part out of the minimum sales date and use our date function. We can use date and comma 1. This way, it will go from the beginning of the year of the minimum sell state. So let me make sure that I need one more parentheses here. So we remove that, and let's also do the same for our max date. So we'll get the year part of it from the date into max. All right, if we do that, the date now would be, let's sort descending. The date would go from 1/1/2020 to let's go up to the end of 2020. Oh, okay. I think I know what I did here. I should have 12/31, not 1/1, because it'll give us the beginning, in this case here, beginning of the year, and this would be the end of the year. So now we should get value up to 12/31/2024. All right, so that's how you create calendar table in 3 different ways. So hard coding it, getting the min and max from the table, and adding a year function, and it'd be 12/31. Fix it. So this is how we can create a calendar table.